musika kutonga kwaro ngoma paindorira ngoma yamakachaira rinofadza nendera kambara makachaira kutonga kwaro kutonga kwaro kutonga kwaro kutonga kwaro kutonga kwaro kutonga kwaro aiwa tioneiwo 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 tioneiwo
Zimbabwe should go back to its status. We had our land reform, which initially went down as a result of reorganization, but now that is behind us. What is left now is for us to utilize that land, develop that land, make it productive. We will not have anybody from anywhere to come and make this land productive, but ourselves. So we must be united. We are doing everything possible to go back into the export of beef into EU. We already have this program, what you call command agriculture. Some people get mistaken. They think we command the people to grow. No. People volunteer to come onto the scheme. And we don't force people to grow what they don't want to grow. We say this scheme is dealing with the growing of maize. Then if you don't want to grow maize, you don't come in. If we are looking at wheat or we are looking at soybean, and that's what you want, to come in. So we are not going to force people to grow what they don't want to grow. But we ask those who want to move with us and they grow and they prosper to come in. So some of you misunderstand by saying command, meaning that you see left, right. No, it's not like that. It is those who are willing to grow grain for this country, come forward. We give you this, we give you that, we give you that, we finance you and you can grow. Minister Bima is responsible for industry. His business is to make sure we manufacture things here. That's his area of responsibility. From agro-business to actual manufacturing of final products, that's his business. So we've invited him here to see what we are doing. Because in the 10-point plan, there's primary production, secondary production, and so on. So we've brought him here. The intention and the program is that here at Mapisa, this will be the center. The other farms like Ingwiz up there, they're also going to expand. But we are going to have this center as the agro-business center, where if we grow wheat, it shall be processed here. It only leaves Mapisa as flour. So we will have people, engineers and technicians employed here. If it is maize, we shall have maize mill. If it is soya, we shall also have cooking oil. Out of all here, that's why we have brought him here. So he must, in his programs, know about that. Because we would want also business to come to the countryside. By doing so, we shall also make sure the roads are maintained. Perhaps I should have brought the Minister of Transport so that if you have a bad road, like when we went to meet the fairacres, the road was bad. So we went to the Minister of Transport to repair the road. So the same here, if the roads are not good, for the purpose of the program, we bring in the Minister of Transport, say, road higadzira, roads yokini, yokadzira.
Last time, patakaya pano takatisu, chinoda kuti vakomana, vana vedu, vasikana vakomana, wawani mabasa kuno. That's why I want to takwisa mill iyo. Tichavaka a milling company, milling. Yokuti wheat e. Kana yako wewa, inaende hepa peyo miliwa. So we need local technicians, local accountants, local sales people. Wano employer kuno, wachigara kuno, wazhaka kuno. Pacha, this shall be a center here industry. inokavha other industries kunoku kuti kati machibage tochitena into mill mowana cheaper mill nokuti inenge yari mwakuno yagaiwa kuno kwete kuti morima chomboenda Bulawayo chonogaiwa kune trade union yotaura zvaitoda marikwire chozobvako chouya kuno nemarori magonyeti avamwe voisa price yavo mozotenga chakwira aiwa rimai mokohwa chogaiwa chopekwa motenga modla.
Instruction from President Mugabe is that all the water bodies in the country must be used to produce food. Government is ready to support such activities to make sure we produce food, so that within 2-3 seasons we are assured that Zimbabwe will stop importing food anymore. Whether Mnangagwa kana ina kunaya, we should be able to have enough food in Zimbabwe. We want to move ahead with willing partners, those who want to develop their country, those who want to contribute to the grain sufficiency in the country. Come. But we are not forgetting the ordinary person, and 2 hectares and 3 hectares. Those come under a different program. We have the presidential input scheme run by the Minister of Agriculture. We are looking for funds for that one. People, individual households will be given seed, fertilizer and chemicals at that level. But at this level, we have to support you at a higher level. But anybody near water, kana uri pedo nemvura mwa uhlala duze amanzi umele wasebensis. If you don't, we remove you from water and keep you where there's no water and bring people who can use water.
Takudziwana nevokada vari kushanda panapa vakuti vada kuwedzerwa mvura pane rizuru riri panapa vana kuisa dhemu tawirirana taakunopa nyaya yacho kuna Minister veClimate and Water mai Mchinguri kuti vaise priority list yavo muvagwe rimwe dhamu kututsira mvura zvokuti tawirirana kuti after 2 or 3 years chiuya pano tinenge tava nearly 3,000 hectares under plow under crop pano poga.
Fortunately, it's a program now which is unfolding, where the Ministry of Environment, Water and Climate under Minister Mchinguri will deal with this issue. I've already discussed with her, and I have no doubt that when the equipment comes, this place will be given priority, because we want to expand crop production. But I have no doubt that we should be up to the challenge. We have adequate engineers in the country who will advise us as how this must be done. This program is not for anything else but to make Zimbabwe a food sufficient nation, bread basket for the region. We have that capacity, we have the water, we have the land, and we have the people.
Wheat inopinda muyogaiwa yetachi flour kuno totengesera Bulawayo totengesera Harare chibva kuno mazvona manje matraka achifamba achiona achiuya kuno kazvadaro zozoda kuti mugwagwa uchiswa tara hati mazvona mugwagwa usachi tara.
We have built silos on site at the farm. I believe by now we are putting a mill on site to process maize, to process wheat on site, to process soya on site. That is much south. So we want to bring those things here, so that 1, you create employment, 2, you create development, 2, you have the surrounding villages benefiting from that growth. We have income coming into the community as a result of that growth. Now, this can only be done by people who are united with a focus. to grow our economy, to create employment, the burden lies on our shoulders, ourselves, not anybody else. We want that to see within the next 2 seasons, Zimbabwe should be totally sufficient in terms of food security. Last time we agreed that we are going to expand and expand. The last time we had the summer crop with very little land and maize. And we said we are going to again go back to the production of wheat. And there is wheat now. I can see we have something like 500 or more hectares of wheat. Next winter, we must have double the size of wheat we have this season, this winter. No, next winter, if it is 500, next time it must be 1,000 hectares of wheat here.
Sema other estates throughout the country in every province trikuenda. Tatanga no kuri season inoi wheat. Mufunge kuti kwa kusina kana wheat yanga ichibva ku other last winter. Winter ino chitanga iyo ino winter alone. Trikuendesa 11,000 metric tons of wheat. That's now. Ukuma kwa taita. As next year, for winter and next year, to no multiply 11 na 3. Sakate kufana kuendesa 33,000 metric tons of wheat. The other, and that other cheti. Saka mawona pano, pataenda huko, wanashwamba navo, mawona kushita opening. Sango, vari kupena another 400 hectares. Equals village. And after we shall reach 1,000. After last time, apart April, this is now August, that's okay. 400 hectares, zinofana kurima end of September and October. This time around Musama, Vrachinaya, Chinorima 1,000 hectares pano zechibake. Saka vakomana voku adha vari pano vanogona samari ishasha. Vanga vachindibudza kuti pawheat iyi vangangosvitsa 6 to 7 tons a hectare. Wazvona manje? Saka kana pateta kuri machibage muna Musama tine 1,000 hectares vachiwana 10 tons per hectare. That is 10,000 metric tons zechibage pano chete. Uko kuingwizi tola the same. Wakarwa imwe 10,000 ukuthi chani tikuenza machine kokoko kuexpanda minda yawo isiko ku 1,000 foot. Tinenge tavane 20,000 metric tons zechibagwe only Matabele South by these 2 other farms. Apachina kuonda kuti nzara chibagwe. Tora mbidza vanona munhu anofana kugara akaguta.
The last winter or other winters before now, there was very little coming from ADA to the national coffers in terms of wheat contribution. But this season alone, we expect up to 11,000 metric tons for this season alone. When we've just begun that is putting all the other farms together. But next winter, Chairman, is 3 times. So when I say, Chairman, I mean you should not sleep. Yes. Whoever else you want not to sleep, it's your business. But next time is 3 times what we are getting this winter. Months ago, we were in Matabele South Province, And the biggest challenge our people in that province was to sustain the head of cattle during winter because there's no grass. There was this drought, the El Nino phenomenon. Matabeleland South, Mat North, and part of Midlands, and part of Masvingo province, they are in the region 4 and 5, where very little crops can be grown. There are many activity is animal husbandry, but then this came under serious threat because there was no grass and we were dying in huge numbers. So we had to address the question of making sure there is stock feed for the cattle there. So we demarcated 2,000 hectares. This 3 months ago. Now we are here already seeing experimental activity to satisfy that demand. A few years behind us, we were quite sufficient in terms of food, and we did not pay much attention to how we must upgrade our agriculture. And by doing so, as he mentioned, the agro industry will grow. As we grow more wheat, more soya, more maize, then there will be agro industry to beneficiate from the crops that we grow into other products. It creates employment. We also support the schools around us here. They will have better schools, better facilities, because this place will now be active and viable. So the ball is not in the government's court. The ball is in your court order to focus and say, but you don't even just say, critical things will give you.
It's true, yes.
Other things, I'm sure, you have capacity to acquire. But the critical things relating to equipment, electricity, that's energy, and the water, government will do its best to make sure those things are supplied. We have done tremendous progress in the other estates across the country. We have done a lot of progress that has been achieved in the last 2 years. Last time we came here, we only had one crop. Now I can see that we have commercial wheat, we have seed wheat, we have seed maize, we have potatoes, we have tomatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of crops. No one is going to develop our Zimbabwe. No one but ourselves. So I have no doubt that we shall grow and grow. By the time we reach 4 seasons, we must have 500 hectares under crop. Let us cooperate with private entities to tisumudze production. Excellent. So far, we've now been approached by funders from outside Zimbabwe who are saying because Command Agriculture is succeeding, they are offering to come and build and install irrigation across the country, which will only pay with grain after harvesting. What else would we want? We want those people to come in. Once we have this irrigation equipment, pivots and so on, and dams constructed, those are assets that will remain in Zimbabwe, and we pay by grain. But our country will be developed. Our agriculture will be back to where it ought to be, and still continue to grow it. This is where we are going. We are acquiring irrigation equipment from Brazil. We have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And he is almost completing phase 1. Part 2 of phase 1 is on its way into the country, which will empower our people to have irrigation equipment and its accessories to have tractors and its accessories, all the farming necessities to have a successful farming venture. We are having equipment coming in from Brazil, and some of it has already arrived. But most importantly then, this time we are putting up a program where those people around water bodies will give each one the capacity to plow, give seed, give fertilizer, give irrigation equipment. It can be one, they can be a group, they'll be supported by government, by a scheme. But if they fail, we remove them and they put those who can work. That I am saying without fear. So we should not be afraid of less people. The Minister of Agriculture has been tasked by government to go to every place where there is a small dam, big dam, wherever there is water. We have equipment, agricultural equipment coming into the country every time. So we shall have all the people around water bodies, make them work, plant, grow crops in the summer, grow crops in the winter. Apachina kuti muchirimo mobikadoro lokumwa mshitamba. In the winter you work, in the summer you work, you produce. We give you the equipment. Kuresa trapera changa twana zvazo kurima kurimisa kubva ku India. Saka chero papi pose pane mvura munyika muno, mvura iyoyo inofana kushandiswa. Asa mukwanisi kuishandisa namavoko enyu. Tinofana kuya takati vamade vebazi ravo reagriculture vainde pose pane mvura, vanhu vari pedo nemvura ivavo tivazive, tivavunganidze, tivape matrakta, tivape zveirrigation, tivape mbeu, tivape fertilizer. Isu vehurumende. The president has said I should chair the food security. And I'm not used to failing. So, my daughter, we must put our shoulders to the wheel and work. Each one of us has a duty to perform. And whatever duty you are doing, do it with full commitment and excellency. No time Zimbabwe must be food sufficient. We should stop importing food for Zimbabwe. Now we want to make sure it's not a bye-bye to importation of grain by Zimbabwe. And this we can achieve by using our land, by supporting our people who are farmers, by empowering them, and by using all our water bodies in the country. Zvikanzi kombe Mnangagwa chicheya nyaya yacho iyi chiregera uboni kana wachewa neni kauchida kubata otobuda family oenda kumwe. When we failed to utilize water bodies and the schemes of this nature. The possible explanation is that either we had enough food in the country and we did not focus on the development and the mechanization of our agriculture. But now as government, let me assure you all and the people of Mangwe that the government now is focusing on everything that we can do to make sure that agriculture succeeds. Agriculture must be supported. Agriculture must be mechanized. Agriculture should receive energy, electricity. As far as we are concerned now, as government, we are now focused to make sure all other estates are really productive in winter and in summer. Let's make sure we resuscitate other estates countrywide. And that's what we are doing now. And I can safely assure you that we have secured funding for other from outside to resuscitate other estates. Whether it is cropping or animal husbandry, we'll do it. Secondly, we are saying to the chairman, make sure ADA is revived and expanded. We don't need to import food anymore. We don't need to import food. We should now make sure that all the schemes in the country are made viable, they are made operational. And then secondly, we go for water bodies throughout the entire country and the capacitated people around those water bodies to make sure they can produce in winter, they can produce in summer. We have said all the people around other estates should become outgrowers of other. That is to say, they have to be supported by other in terms of inputs for them to grow. It's a program which is already unfolding so that we have irrigation equipment. All what we now need is the commitment of our people. Because as a government, we have identified that, you see, there are three things that are needed. One is land, which we have, which we acquired. Two, we need the water. So some water comes from the rain, but some water we have to capture through dams, and we have ordered equipment for dam construction throughout the country. So we shall need a lot of water dams. Now with the land and the water, the third element which is required are people to use the land and use the water. Zimbabwe is 14 million people. So people we have the skills and the education to do so. So the potential to rise sky high is there. The ball is in our court as Zimbabweans to make sure that we achieve these things because everything is before us. Most of the young people go across to South Africa. That should now stop. Because if we put factories and we put plants, then we have employment to work here at home. Yes. You see? And it's important to have our people here. And you will see some of our people in the diaspora who coming back because they can see vibrancy. But most importantly, we should put in our minds that our country will be developed by ourselves, using the resources which God gave us in our areas.
We are here today in Matobo district, Matabeleland South, to see the foundation which was laid by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa. Command Agriculture is a success story. It needed sound leadership. He led this program ably for the last 18 months. And at this particular estate, he set the standards which are highlighted in our 10-point plan. Production, productivity, processing, and marketing of produce from prospective provinces within our country. We believe that if the nation follows the example which he demonstrated with his team, then clearly the future for Zimbabwe, certainly under agriculture, is much brighter. When you are tasked to execute a program, it's a national responsibility. And when you then pick a team to execute that program, that's individual talent. Because now, as a nation, at this hour, our main challenge is how do we store the produce produced nationwide. So we are saying, as a nation, as Zimbabwe, we thank you, sir, for leading by example.
But madzishema mavaduku mavachazimira reaitwa kare kuti gore negore vanofanira kushuma kuti mvura yedu inivo inaye vanonamatavo muchinamatavo kuti mvura yedu inivo inaye ndio zvatinoda tichida peace 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 ndiyo atoda runyararo nokuwirirana zvinosumudzira matunhu atigere. All what we want is stability and the peace in the country. Government is there to create that environment, that peace, which is necessary for development. So we need unity. Love among all our people. Then izinduna zizahlala kuhle. Zizathaba ngabe peace. Angithi? Yes. Very good.
Sika kutonga kwaro ngoma paindorira ngoma yamakachaira rinofadza nendera mikambara makachaira kutonga kwaro